every year there's like a couple teammates or teams that have multiple receivers that are that doesn't make any sense. Every year there's a couple teammates that are both ranked to there every year there's a couple of receivers that are teammates that are both ranked like top 15, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel until I like research it, but like I research it now. So like listen up, you know? Let's see what we got cooking here, fellas. Uh we got the Loopers today. He's a cool he's a cool guy. He also paints. If you're into painting, he does paints. So in the first 5 games last year, when Dak Prescott was healthy, CeeDee Lamb was wide receiver 11, and Amari Cooper was wide receiver 8. Okay, Amari had 19 more points last year overall. In the first 5 games, Amari had a mere 4 points more. The difference negligible. CD had one more touchdown in the first 5 games, so maybe that regresses a little bit, but like they are essentially the same player with CD getting a slight edge. No, with Amari getting a slight edge based on last year's production. Okay, shout out to DF Bean Counter for these numbers here right here. But last year when Dak Prescott was healthy, uh, the Cowboys were 14th in neutral script pass rate, and in the past 3 years combined, they have been 19th in neutral script pass rate. So they don't pass the ball a ton. Like usually when you see these receivers, it's a super consolidated target share amongst a high passing offense, like the Bucks last year, right? Which I mean, eventually AB came, but you get the point, right? It's it's a high volume passing offense that has a consolidated target share and no third option. But the Cowboys have a third option and a fourth option, and they're not passing a ton. So yeah, Amari is 27 and CD is just 22. If you're into that, Lamb averaged 17.1 points per game with Dak, and he had 2.3 yards per route run with Dak, which is a very high number because without Dak, he had 1.8, which is still good, but that's kind of in the cluster of like Claypool and Ayuk and Higgins, which is But when you're drafting someone so high, you kind of want that elite ceiling, you know. Just for reference, there have been 3 rookie receivers in the past 15 years to clear the 2.5 yards per route run threshold. I believe it's AJ Brown, OBJ, and Justin Jefferson. So Lamb is almost there. It's a very good number, is what I'm trying to say. Last year, Amari was no in 2019. Amari was wide receiver 10. So we know he's gonna be a low end wide receiver 1 likely. And I don't know what else to say about him. For me, Cooper has a higher floor, and CD has a higher ceiling since we just saw CD essentially be the same player as Cooper, but he was younger, and a year 2 jump is very likely. So if you want safety in the first couple rounds, I mean Cooper is not a bad pick, but I probably won't have him much because he's going in the 3rd round, right? But for me at least, I prefer CeeDee Lamb actually, just a little bit because he's on his way to becoming a potentially generational talent, and he's gonna have a breakout one of these years, and I can't help but think that this year is possible. Like Cooper likely has a I don't know, it's really hard. It's really hard. Okay, for the record, I don't want either of them at their ADP, but if I was going to pick someone, I would pick CD because I believe he has a top 6-7 ceiling, and I don't think Cooper's gonna get there. I think his ceiling is like wide receiver 10, wide receiver 9, which is like still great, but like Cooper isn't gonna win you your league, and CD could. But Cooper, I mean, but CD could bust easier than Cooper, so I don't know. They likely will cannibalize each other to a certain degree, and then of course you need to get Michael Gallup targets, who is the piece that I actually want in this offense. Michael Gallup and Zeke. I mean, he's gonna get his Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin. I mean, they could do that. You need safety in the first 4 rounds. I get that, but I just can't bring myself to draft Cooper. You know, in the 3rd round, which is the current ADP, it's hard to see them both be high win rate players given the presence of each other. But I'll take CD's ceiling over Cooper's floor. 4 days of the week. I mean, it's a toss up, but I will take CD. But for the record, after ADP, not a big fan of either of them until it changes. So yeah, go ahead and draft CeeDee Lamb.